Hello, welcome to the channel. This is Confronting Chaos. My name is Joshua Jansen. I'm going to be doing a book review, very short story by Kafka, Metamorphosis, or The Transformation of Gregor Samsa. It's something I've been putting off for a while because this book is deeply piercing and disturbing. And it reveals something deeply troubling about human nature and also the sort of society that we have created. So you can pick it up from the covers of the book. Gregor Samsa wakes up one day and he's some giant bug laying in bed, stuck in bed. And I was actually myself stuck in bed last week where I had the flu and I couldn't function in society anymore. And it just made me realize how useless I became in some sense. And this is the deep theme of the book, is where does our value lie as a person? And in a capitalistic world, it's how much do you provide? Are you productive? And Gregor Samsa is the breadwinner of quite a big family. He's got a sister and a father and I believe a maid, if I remember correctly. I read this book a good few weeks ago, and by the way, it's like a 50-page story. It's not long. You can read it in a day. It's troubling. It's considered existential literature, and you can really see Kafka's negative outlook on the world. So to sum up the story, he becomes a cockroach. So this is spoilers now. He becomes not maybe a cockroach, but a big bug. He's stuck in bed. He's struggling to get out of bed, and he's now not able to provide. His boss comes knocking on the door looking for him because he's such a valuable asset to the company. And there's absurdity in the story because Gregor Samsa doesn't even register that he's this weird creature now, and his first priority is, forget that I'm a cockroach. I need to go to work. I need to provide for my family. But he can't. So he's stuck in this room, and his room becomes a symbol of like isolation. The room is sort of like a mental asylum. He's not fit for society. And he has a sister who takes on the responsibility to care for him. She provides food for him, even though he doesn't eat the food. She tries to make his room nice because, it's still her brother, even though she recognizes that he's this weird creature. But a troubling pattern of the movie, we'll get to it towards the end, is she slowly starts seeing him as a burden. She doesn't see him as his brother anymore. And progressively, Gregor Samsa's communication gets worse. So he can't actually communicate with them because he's this weird creature that can't really speak English. And Gregor Samsa has such love for his family. Let's just talk on the sister because there's a section where she begins playing her music. And Gregor Samsa had this vision of making her a musician so that she could make it in the world. And while he's a cockroach towards the end of the story, he's listening to her, and he still has his human element to him. He's got humanity still, even though they can't recognize it. Despite how poorly the family's been treating him, he still wanted the best for his sister. And yet the father was throwing brooms at him or apples at him and treating him like a pest. But before he had this transition, he was the most valuable thing in the family. But it's like, as soon as he was unfit, he became disposable. He's not providing for us anymore. So he's actually dirty and disgusting. And he's now a burden to us. And the family sort of just forgets how much he provided for them. You can provide for someone for 10 years, but 1 week of being unfit and they forget all of that. That's sort of the themes. And I'm going to try and keep this short because you should really read the book for yourself, so I don't want to give too many spoilers away. But it's basically, are we just what we provide? Are we just utility? That's the deep question of the story. And when we are no longer able to provide, when we go insane, people don't care about you anymore. And they don't even recognize your humanity anymore. And you can love them and care for them, but you're not providing for them. So we throw you away. And I really, this part of the book stuck with me. He recognizes what a burden he's become. And he realizes, and they realize that actually their lives would be easier if he was no longer in the house, because he's causing trouble with the new tenants because there's this big creature in the house. He recognizes, you know what, I'd rather leave this place. It would be better for them, even though I'm gonna suffer. And he ends up, because he's injured from the apple being thrown at him, and he's starting getting sick and whatever, and they just find him dead. You know, like imagine cockroaches sort of crumple up. They just find him crumpled up in his room. He just accepted death, like he just, his soul gave up on life, and he's just this dead cockroach. They do the sign of the cross and they say, "Thank you, God, for his life." And then the maid comes to them at the table and says, "I've thrown him away." And even the sister that was caring about him in the beginning, she was relieved, because at that point she couldn't handle the burden anymore. So this loving brother, this loving source of the provider of the house, was thrown away. They blessed his soul, and they started planning their future without him. It's a very morbid part of the story, because you think they're going to reflect on their love for him and how he cared for them. No. He doesn't provide anymore. He's crumpled up and he's dead. We throw him out and we move on. That's how it goes. It's deeply troubling, and it also calls into question, how do you value other people as well? Do you only care because they provide for you, make you feel special, or they're a source of income? And when they're gone, or when they are mentally ill, or if they're sick, or if they're disabled, what do they mean to you? Do you just throw them out? Deeply troubling. I recommend you read it with caution. There's no hint of optimism at the end of the story, but I think it's helpful to recognize how poorly we treat people, even those who we think we love. Why do we actually love them? And is it really love? Are you just utility? Or is there something deeper about what makes you valuable?